Okay, welcome everybody for our next leg of the Puzzle Rush Survival. We made it to puzzle 32 and completed it. So now we join our journey again with puzzle 33. So let's lock in and see what happens. Okay. Rook is attacking our knight. I also notice, there's a possible check here against our king. So we've seen safer days, but we're on the move. And one thing I do notice is that the rooks are in forking distance of a knight here. That would be worth noting. But again, as I mentioned, there could be a check. Oops, like check here, maybe another check. So not so clear going after the material just yet. Now, if I'm looking for, say, a really forcing line, I like bishop h2, finding the meeting points between the pieces here and what's going on. So if I play bishop h2 and the king tries to move toward the center, then rook f2 appears to be mate. That's a really encouraging sign because the direction of play is kind of heading in one direction, meaning after here, the king is forced to h1. And now can I play that forking idea with check, right? It does disconnect our rook's ability to, defend the bishop. So the king could take, but then that gives us the opportunity to take one of the rooks, discover a check there against the king, and then maybe even take the bishop here. So a lot of arrows, but again, there's the basic point. Check here allows mate. Check here. Check forces the king to the second rank when we have some kind of discovery that we'll have to figure out, either here or here. My intuition says we'll take this rook, but anyway, let's see what happens. Check. Knight f2. Okay, so we are being offered a choice. My intuition does say we should take this way. If I take this rook, discovering the rook's check there, is there any counterplay? Maybe rook e2. And the idea is to counter the rook. And since we are down material here, that doesn't look great. So I don't want to take here and allow rook e2. So therefore, if I take here, now if rook d2, our knight could take. So notice that difference. I take this rook, maybe the block of rook e2 is a little annoying. But if I take this way, I don't see an obvious defense. So let's go with this move. Knight takes e4. Okay. Takes. So give your opponent another move. What would they play? Mate in 1. So that's one positive to the pawn moving. But a drawback to that pawn moving, I always think about windows being open for pieces. Once the pawn moves here, it does open a window for the queen, but also for our bishop here. So all of a sudden, white's bishop is pinned to its own king. Okay. What is going on here? Check would force the king here. Okay, that's how it goes then, I guess. Check, king g1. And now, even before we play h3, I should point out, notice the queen, rook, and bishop, with a little x-ray dreaming, are all pointing to the h1 square. So if I go check, force the king to g1, now I have queen h1 check. The only move is for the bishop to take, and then the rook would take back with mate. So here we go. Nice. I like that puzzle quite a bit. Okay, our queen is under attack. What's going on here? Looks like we're down a piece for 2 pawns. And white's king is feeling pretty exposed. What is our target here? Looking at the queen sacrifice here, forcing the knight to take. We could take back. attacking the king, but not 100% sure what's going on after king to h1. Okay, another line of thought. What's my dream square? If I could move here, that would be mate. Why is that not possible right now? Because of the knight. So maybe I can just take the knight here. And if the queen takes, that would be mate, dream come true. If the rook takes, so just, again, boom, boom. At the very least, it looks like we have check, king f1. Anything like crushing there? Not sure. G2 at the very least looks reasonable. So I'm not too worried about that. Excuse me. So rook takes, check, king f1. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Like check, king here, check, takes, check, rook f1. Okay, maybe I'm seeing something here. So rook takes, check, king here, g2, king here, g1 equals queen, knight takes, rook takes, rook goes back to f1. And now, bishop g3 check. I think that's working. Because if the king moves here, at the very least, we take the rook with check. And if the king moves here, now it's aligned with the queen. No, that doesn't work either. I was thinking bishop f4. Pinning the queen to the king. Man. Take, check, king f1, check. So maybe rook takes, queen check, king f1, g2, king e1, g1 equals queen, knight takes, rook f1. Now that the rook is pinned to the king, maybe we can throw in bishop to f4. Hitting the queen on e3 and dreaming of connecting with the queen on d2 to deliver mate. Looks strong. Then queen d3. Oh, man. I'm just kind of out of it. I wasn't properly understanding that the rook is being attacked. That's funny. So bishop f4 isn't just attacking the queen and dreaming of a mate. I was just blind to this diagonal. Interesting. Okay, so let's resurface here. Take the knight. Check. Check. Promote. Take. Check. Block. Bishop f4, skewering the queen to the rook and hoping to connect with the queen there on d2. So if queen d3, It looks like, maybe there's something clearly stronger. But if nothing else, I could take the rook and then take this rook. And when the smoke clears, we're up a piece. Okay, I really struggled with this one. And just to conclude, rook f3, king f3. Just want to double check that point. g2 blocks the king's ability to kind of retreat. Attacks the rook. And then rook f7. No, not rook f7. So like rook g1, for example. What is the winning move? Maybe it is rook f7. Look at that. Rook f7 check. So now if the king takes, the queen and bishop are communicating. So that is mate. Okay, I think I figured it out. Not 100% sure. Take. Check. Check. Promote. Check. Okay, well, didn't think about that move. But what I was looking at was here, and then bishop f4. Notice if the queen takes the bishop, I could take back because the rook is pinned. So I think that's the answer, here and here. Very interesting. All right. So anyway, this happened, and we solved it. That was a really tough one. Okay. What is going on here? So the knight moves here. Our bishop is under attack. The rook is looking at the knight, defended by the queen. The knight is also joining the rook and attacking our passed pawn there, so good to be alert. Now, initially, I was trying to figure out how to remove the guard, so I was looking at like h4. So if the queen is able, to take, and then I take the knight and I'm happy. But after h4, maybe the queen moves here, and I'm not so sure. Not so sure. Or maybe more accurate, here, say queen to, even queen f6 is probably simpler. So don't see a clear follow-up there. On the other hand, there is this alignment right across the fifth rank. So what if I play queen d5? Now I would be attacking the knight. The pawn is pinned. If the knight takes, there goes the queen. So I'm pinning the knight to the queen. I have two attackers after queen d5. Only one defender. No obvious way for black to add a second defender. Pawn is pinned. Rook moves here. I could take it. So I think that's our answer. Queen d5. They throw in a check or something. I can just take. Looks good. Okay. There we go. Okay, this one looks a little more straightforward, perhaps. Give black another move, look out for this kind of stuff. We're under fire. If I play here, some kind of check, not 100% clear how that would play out. Now, where can the king move, right? We have the king completely cut off here. Can't move to any of these squares. Only square available is here. So check. Here, not sure where it leads. On the other hand, if I play check, I sacrifice a pawn in order to open up the h-file for my rook. king cannot move here because of our knight, so therefore it's forced back to g6, and then I can deliver mate. So boom, boom, and mate. Okay, the rook was under fire, moved here. I think the material is balanced for now. Okay, so black might be saying, hey, if you do nothing, I'll take your knight and get 2 minor pieces for a rook. So that might be the opponent's idea. The queen here looks a little funny. Not a lot of space to move. So if I play rook c1, queen is nearly hanging, if not for queen b3. So that might lead somewhere. Okay. Maybe there's a simpler path here. The knight is loose, and it's aligned with our bishop here. So maybe, just maybe, we could play knight b5. That would attack the queen. And if the queen moves out of harm's way, well, it can't do that and defend the knight, because there we would take the queen. So if I play knight b5, rook takes is likely. Maybe I take here and we're up in exchange and feeling pretty good. Just double check if I go here. Don't quite believe in this line. Queen is attacking our bishop, offering a trade of queens. So maybe knight b5, as far as I can tell, is good. So let's go for it. Okay. Boom. Okay, queen moved here. We are down a pawn with the possibility of losing a second one. I'm noticing, some potential energy here down the long dark square diagonal, worth noting. We have a check. Not quite sure where it leads yet, but worth noting. Maybe we should allow our opponent to take that pawn. If I play rook b8, where can that queen move? Could be counterplay with knight c6, so we'll talk about that in a moment. But if the queen takes, then rook a5 appears to trap the queen. Okay, and so if here and the queen moves there, similar story with rook a5. Nowhere. No, then the queen could move to d6. So hang on. Here, here. Not 100% sure. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, I think I hit a really important blind spot. Rook here, queen there, rook a5. I hit a wall after this move. And one of the reasons I sort of hit a wall is I didn't see a clear way to continue to attack the queen without allowing it to maybe retreat in this direction. And once I realized, hey, the bishop and the rook are communicating, what about bishop e5? I don't think the queen has an escape square. So I hit an important wall, but I think I broke through it. Here, 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 here. Queen is trapped. Because the rook guards that square, rook guards 5th rank, guards that square, Okay, I think we're doing well. Now, after here, what if they play this move? I'd like to play check or something and then take the queen, but that would hang my queen. So we're not going to do that. Well, maybe we can kind of keep it simple here. If I take the queen and you take me, what happens if I go back? Where can the knight move? That might be our answer. Here, here, take, go back and trap the knight. Okay, I think we figured it out. Rook b8. Okay, there. Rook a5. Okay, queen captured, whatever, but after here, it gives us maybe a more clear visual of what I was talking about before. Bishop e5, trapping the queen. Very interesting puzzle. Okay. So now we just take the queen. Okay, starting a puzzle with check, limiting our options. If we were on the move, it would be mate. So why would I not play f5? Maybe because of queen d2. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is look for the path of least resistance and find a way to prevent any annoying additional checks. So if I go here, it's tempting, but pawns open windows for our pieces, and that is really annoying. I don't think I can escape the queen's harassment after that. Like if I play f5 and check and I step back, check, it doesn't look good. On the other hand, if I move here, the queen does not have a sensible square to attack us. Can't move here or here. So therefore, not f5. We will play king here. And if check, we take with the pawn. And there's no obvious follow-up check. So I think this is our answer. Okay, fair enough. I missed this move. A little sloppy by me. I actually just didn't see the pawn here. A little bit tired. Well, I'm lucky. I can take here, I think. Can't check me without losing your queen. So I think we're good. Could be another sacrifice. Take. Check. King here. Check. I think eventually we might be able to get out of that perpetual. So in other words, take, check, take, check, here, check. My intuition tells me that eventually I can get my king closer to the middle and maybe start blocking with some pieces. So I don't have it all calculated, but sometimes we just need to use process of elimination here. And, here I'm really exposed to attack. Here, same story. So therefore, what remains, right? Here, illegal. Sorry. Excuse me. So I think I'll just take. Okay, that was a very interesting one. Well, we made it to 40. And I think this will be a good moment to stop the video. So kind of a heavier lift today. So nice work, everybody, working through these complicated puzzles. I'll see you around.